Distribution site management. Choosing a site. Location, location, location. When choosing a site, it is important to consider locations that best serve eligible participants. Tax-exempt organization or agency-run site. The main agency must ensure that regulations are followed at distributions. They can either manage the distributions themselves on site, or they may partner with other tax-exempt organizations to oversee distributions. Convenient. Are the location and scheduled distribution times in a place to allow eligible participants to get food at the sites? You need both to have successful distributions that meet local needs. Inside and outside space. Which is appropriate? Outdoor space can be convenient, especially if participants can drive up, sign for food, and have it placed in their vehicle. Indoor spaces, such as senior housing sites, are ideal for distributing food. Consider how the choice of indoor or outdoor distribution improves customer service. What else is going on at that site? Other activities help bring participants to distributions since they provide extra benefits. Health screenings, weatherization programs, food demonstrations, other food programs, and other extra events or programs give participants more incentive to come to the site. Is your target population close? Understand where your participants are coming from. Over time, populations move, expand, or decrease. Is your site located where it can serve the most participants? It can be difficult for participants to take part in programs that require excessive travel, transportation, and time. Is the site well attended? Sites should be where the people are and not make the people travel more than necessary to get to the site. Regular review of site locations, compared with population trends and attention to current participants, will help make sure your sites are where they can best serve participants. Site agreement. You must have a signed agreement with each location where USDA food is distributed. All sites distributing on behalf of the agency must have a signed agreement with the agency. The agreement requires sites to follow all program regulations when distributing USDA food on behalf of the agency. This includes sites where the agency oversees distribution and where food is delivered and then distributed without agency oversight. If the agency oversees distribution at a site, the agreement allows for agency use of the site for that purpose. If food is distributed by another organization on behalf of the agency, the agreement allows for use of the site and the organization's agreement to follow program regulations. All sites must be listed in the MEGS Plus application. Agencies submit an annual application to take part in household programs. Food distribution sites must be verified, revised, and updated as needed annually. Submitting a site listing in MEGS Plus. Agencies are required to submit a list of sites in the Michigan Electronic Grant System, MEGS Plus, each year. The list is to be submitted in an Excel spreadsheet. The list must include the name, address, and type of distribution for all active sites. The list is to be updated throughout the year if new sites are added or existing sites are closed. Agency distribution oversight. An agency may choose to oversee distribution instead of partnering with other organizations. When this happens, it is agency staff and volunteers that run all aspects of the distribution. The agency and the organization providing the site for distribution both sign an agreement stating the expectations of both parties, such as frequency of use, distribution schedules, and expectations for use of the site. The organization agrees to allow the agency access to the site for food distribution purposes. The agency agrees to follow expectations for use of the site. Distribution by a partner organization. The partner organization agrees to the following: have and maintain tax-exempt status with the IRS, comply with all USDA foods and civil rights regulations, be responsible for the proper storage and handling of USDA foods, comply with all USDA civil rights regulations, follow all the State of Michigan's guidelines for program participation, collect and maintain participation records according to regulations, either kept on site or sent to the agency as agreed by both parties. Report accurate monthly distribution numbers to the organization by announced due dates. Allow USDA, MDE, and the agency access to facilities and records. Who is an agency representative? Agency representatives are any person working on behalf of the agency in the administration and/or distribution of USDA food programs. This includes both paid employees and volunteers. Agency representatives who interact with program participants must receive annual civil rights training. Agency representatives who do not work directly with program participants are not required to receive civil rights training, but they are encouraged to do so to increase awareness of participant rights. Agencies may select a volunteer to oversee site distributions and to represent the agency in accordance with established volunteer protocols for your agency. Selected volunteers are to provide agency contact information and/or certification forms and instructions to incoming participants. Selected volunteers can also be assigned to collect and submit certification paperwork to the agency if necessary. Site procedures. Agencies are encouraged to create site procedures for each distribution site to be used when regular site personnel are unable to be present at distributions due to illness, weather, or other factors. Canceling a distribution when the lead personnel are unavailable is to be avoided. With the proper information in place, distributions can go on as planned since other staff and volunteers will have a written plan on how distribution works at individual sites. This provides consistency for program participants and reduces stress on distribution staff and volunteers. The site procedures should include the following information: setup procedures, intake procedures, food delivery, arrival, and departure information, teardown procedures, specific methods used at individual sites. For example, one site may give participants numbers as they arrive instead of waiting in line. Another may seat them at numbered tables. Both help keep order before distribution begins, but they are only effective when they have been previously established. Ignoring set rules will complicate distribution. Site reviews. Agencies must conduct reviews of all sites annually. These can be done by any member of the agency and must be documented on an agency review form or the MDE template. The reviews should be relevant to the operations of the agency and distribution sites. Some items to include are: is the "And Justice for All" poster publicly visible during certification and distribution? Do all staff and volunteers have an annual documented civil rights training? How is the flow of distribution?